Hey, everybody. Look at this. Two lives in one day. I'm on a roll today. I know. I'm super jazzed because with us we have a really amazing, remarkable woman and a remarkable fellow Canadian, Cindy Watson. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, it's so great to be here. I love your energy as always. It just inspires.
Oh my goodness. But Cindy, why I love you and why I love that you're here is because you're a woman who has kicked ass in a male-dominated field.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and there's a lot of attorneys that are female attorneys, but you are a female attorney that is and still was and still is in a male-dominated industry within the legal field, which is labor law.
Yeah, although it's funny to say that because that I think was the impetus for me to start Women on Purpose and especially to create my Art of Feminine Negotiation program because I did kick ass in the industry, but there's a big cost for that, Cindy. And I think so many women don't really take stock and they just hit a certain point in their life when they suddenly feel dissatisfied, even though they've got this really successful career and family. And then they feel guilty, of course, being women about the fact that they're dissatisfied. And so when I really started working things back, I originally started with this idea about Women on Purpose, helping women step into their passion and purpose. But the more I kept digging through that program, I realized all of life is a negotiation and we're not taught to negotiate. And so many women either end up stepping back from negotiation, feeling like they're not effective, or they feel like they have to bring that masculine energy and act like a man to get what they want. And neither are true. So I feel super passionately about this subject. And I think I just want to get the message spread to women so that they can really step into their power in a way that's authentic without all the cost of, I was known as the Barracuda and I don't want to be known as a Barracuda anymore, right? And I used to wear it as a badge of honor, but no more.
Yeah. Well, Cindy, let's kind of go back because at one point, so when we got to know each other about a year ago, you were really talking to me about this whole piece around when you were in law school, you were kicking ass with your negotiations. And then there was a switch when you went in the real world, and then there was a switch back. So it's fascinating because I think it's a really interesting story that really illustrates that women are actually amazing negotiators. We're just, I'll let you tell the story.
Well, thanks. And it's funny, I didn't realize it at the time. It wasn't until much later that I had my epiphany about how important that law school experience was. Because I took a negotiation course in law school, and they don't really teach negotiation. It was this special seminar that was being offered by somebody who was out in practice in the corporate world. And it turned out we were actually negotiating for our marks, which I hadn't known at the time when I signed up for the course. So basically, you get a series of simulated exercises. You can imagine the competition in law school, right? Where it's super competitive. And so basically we'd get this series of simulated exercises over the course of the year. And there was no room for, creative out of the box thinking. It was whoever got the top amount of money in that simulated exercise got the highest mark in the class, and whoever got the lowest monetary settlement in their negotiation. And you're negotiating in a vacuum. You don't know what everybody else is getting. So the limit could be up here or down here, and you're just hoping you're, in the ballpark there in the zone. And I won virtually every simulated negotiation all year. And the prof was like, I've never seen this happen before. And the funny thing was, it got harder and harder as the year went on, because of course now everybody's gunning for me, thinking I'm a shark. But the irony was, and I didn't realize at the time, back then I wasn't, Cindy. I was all about rapport building and trust. And the other thing I didn't mention is if you didn't get a settlement, you got a 0 in that you had your 1-hour class to get a negotiated settlement. So there's this super intense pressure.
Oh my God.
I'm always just saying, okay, we've only got an hour. What do you need? Tell me what you want. What can I give you? Let's try and find a solution that works. It was all about rapport building and building trust and trying to use that empathy and put myself in their shoes and intuition. None of which I recognized at the time. It was just instinct for me. It was an intuitive way to negotiate. Then I started the practice of law, where everything was about, don't leave a nickel on the table, take no prisoners, or kind of bring that sort of energy to the game.
The masculine,
masculine energy. And especially because I was the only woman almost always in any hearing room, in any negotiation. My clients were all male, the opposing counsel and all of their clients were male, the adjudicators were male. And I could tell they were walking on eggshells. So it just felt natural I felt necessary, not natural. It felt necessary to adopt that rawr approach, because then they're like, oh my God, you're a barracuda, you're a tiger, right? Like, oh, we love this woman. And then that's the pattern you start falling into.
Yeah.
But you don't realize at the time, and it took me a long time, and I think most women, there's just this big cost. It affects your personal relationships. It affects your relationship with your intimate partner. It affects your relationship with your kids. It affects your relationship with your friends, with your coworkers. Like, I couldn't have this great camaraderie with opposing counsel or other counsel in the same way that the men did with each other, because they saw me as a ball buster, a complete ball buster, right? And I really felt, and you've heard me tell with my son, like I was just having what I thought was a discussion the one time, and I could see his agitation mounting, and I'm like, what the heck? And at one point he's just like, for God's sake, Mom, does every conversation with you have to be an argument that you win? And now I can laugh, but at the time it really took my breath away, and it made me take a good, hard, long look. And so I'm still thankful. We still butt heads, but I'm thankful because it was a light game changer for me. And I started thinking back then to that negotiation course when I realized I was a super effective negotiator without having to go for the juggler, using all of those feminine traits. And then the more I started going back and studying about what makes a great negotiator, and ironically, they're all skills that women already have and use every day. We just don't think of them as negotiating. So the light went off, and I was full steam ahead, putting programming together to help share this for women to step into their power in an authentic way.
You know, Cindy, what I love about this story is that you started out being in your feminine power, and then you got socialized, like all of us women are, that we either aren't good negotiators, or we've got to be like a man to be great negotiators, get better pay, get more clients, right? And then you realized it when you said, Mom, do you have to, right? And then you started to go, oh shit, I already have this inside of me. And now you're training other people to do this.
Absolutely. And I'm really excited about it because, I said at the beginning, all of life is a negotiation. And I don't, that's not some trite sort of spirit line there. Like whether you're negotiating with your partner, with your kids, with, what movie to see, frankly, get your salary personally and professionally. And that's why my program is The Art of Feminine Negotiation, how to get what you want from the boardroom to the bedroom. Because that's right, even your sex life is a negotiation in so many ways, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, and we don't actually know how to have conversations in the bedroom. We don't know how to have conversations in the boardroom. And so I'm going to ask you a few more questions. So we're not done yet. So stay with us, everybody. But womenonpurpose.ca/weekend-live-event. Please go check it out. Because here's the thing, Cindy, there's a lot of people are saying, oh, I'm teaching feminine power, I'm teaching negotiation, and they're doing a great job, which is awesome. What I love about you, though, is that you've actually done it in a male-dominated field in two ways. First of all, a male-dominated field of being an attorney, because although there's a lot of female attorneys, getting to like partner is really hard, and you're like, F that, I'm just going to have my own company, and you have a major law firm that you are at the point where you're actually able to take a lot of time off to be able to now train other people how to do this. But the other thing is that you were in a male-dominated industry within a male-dominated industry. And like it's kind of crazy, like you've done it. And I just love that. And so why do you think women don't feel like they are good negotiators? In general, is that
no? And I think that's a fair comment. And it's one of the things that and let me just take a step back. Like the reason I felt so passionately about putting on this live event next month is, I've got an online program that I'm going to be launching at that event, but I felt more like getting women there live for a 3-day, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and pushing through and busting some of those myths and and raising that awareness about the unconscious bias that we hold as women. We always like to point fingers lately, and there's a lot of polarization between the sexes, blaming the men, but we've got a lot of inner baggage we need to work on first before we can sort of step into our own power.
Yeah.
And not the least of which is that myth. We are so conditioned to believe, women, that we're not good negotiators because people believe negotiation is all about the bark and the bite. And people believe that toughness is what carries the day in negotiation. And it's simply not true, because I put a little mnemonic together. It's are fit. You are fit to be a great negotiator. Assertiveness is only 1 out of 6 of the key elements that make a great negotiator. The others are, ironically, the things I was saying that I was using intuitively. It's rapport building, empathy, flexibility, intuition, and trustworthiness. And those are skills that women have in spades. They do them every day with their kids, with their partners, with their coworkers. We've spent an entire lifetime trying to be in supporting roles. We never had a voice. We didn't have the right to vote. We weren't recognized as persons. So we have hyper developed actually those skills of being empathetic and flexible. And how do we fit our way in to get, without even realizing, being forced to hyper develop those skills. And yet we've never recognized them in a way that we apply them when we're actually facing a negotiation. So for me, the key is teaching women to step in and start recognizing where they're using these skills already, and then start bringing that with intention, with beautiful intention, to all of your negotiations. And it's a game changer, a life changer.
Well, what I'm excited about for your weekend that's coming up mid-June, and 3 hours north of Toronto in Huntsville, right?
Yeah, not even. And you could do it in a good 2.5.
Yes, if you're a speedy driver. Huntsville, first of all, is gorgeous. It's inspired. And that whole area is just a great place for you. The scenery and the hotel you booked, the space you booked is going to just let people drop in.
Absolutely.
But again, what's really important is that we have to, first of all, get rid of all this baggage that we have been given by our society, because I'm tired of women being blamed. Like, yes, we've got baggage that we need to work through, but we've also been kicked the living shit out of, because, I even think about me, as powerful as I have, as much as I've accomplished and as powerful as I feel like I am, there are times in my life where a lot of times actually in one day where I still apologize, where I say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like,
oh, we do.
I've got the female and the Canadian curse. Right? And so what I'm excited about this weekend is that it's, first of all, it's going to strip all that crap away, but also you're going to be able to help women enter their feminine power and know what that feels like. And bigger than that, trust that, because women know what it feels like, but they don't trust it. And I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're probably going to help them learn how to take that feminine power and bring it out into the world and doing all those negotiations. Think about, everyone says, oh, think about the money you're going to make. Well, yeah, if you own a business, you're going to be able to negotiate bigger contracts. Great. If you are in corporate or you're in a job, you're going to be able to ask for a bigger raise from your power, which is great. So you're absolutely right. The money piece is awesome, but I love the fact that you're saying about negotiating, because how many women don't orgasm and don't know how to have that conversation and negotiate that? Or how many women are in relationships that, friendships or whatever, and don't know how to negotiate because they're like, oh, I don't want to, right? So it's like, to be able to feel good in your skin, not apologizing, being able to open your heart, listen, feel, interact. Like, it's a skill set that won't just increase your income hugely. It's going to increase and enhance every aspect of your life. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it's funny when you say about money, because you're exactly right. It's not just about but even when you're negotiating for money, it's never really just about the money. It's what that money represents. It's respect. It's recognition. It's a lifestyle choice as well. It's what that money can do for you. So, but I also don't want people feeling, because I think I've had a couple of people recently and I was so glad they spoke up. Well, I'm a little intimidated to come to this, Cindy, because I don't have these big dreams or aspirations, and that everybody is welcome and can benefit from it, because it's going to be fun. Like, I don't want people feeling like, oh, look out, you got to come and be able to learn this entire new negotiating sort of format. Yeah. We're going to be doing exercises, and we're going to be doing sort of group interactions. For me, the reason I really encourage people to come to the live event if they can is because you bring that energy of women together in a place where there are no men, and it changes that energy where we can help rise each other up and open up and be authentic. And we've spent a lifetime, like as early as kindergarten, young girls are taught to make themselves a little smaller, because we don't want to be, if we act like we're too much, we get ostracized. So we're going to spend a weekend bringing out our too muchness and letting women.
Love it. If I was not in San Francisco speaking, I would so be there. Like, I love what you're saying, that even if you don't have any big dreams or anything big, like, it is small things like being at a restaurant and being willing to speak up. Like, for example, when I'm at a restaurant, I make half of the time I'm out with people, I make them uncomfortable because they'll say, okay, so I have a question. Do you have RBST in your milk products? Is this grass fed? Is this? And my friend, and sometimes like my friends who are personal friends are in their power. They're like, I love it that she's just asking. But some people are like, oh my God, don't be so picky, just whatever. And I'm like, right. And it seems like a small thing, but it's not. But it's the small things of even just getting the small things, being able to willing to ask, like, and it doesn't have to be, what do you mean it's not RBST? Right? It's just like, well, tell me what you have, what don't you have? Okay, it's not breastfed, so do you have gluten-free this, or do you have this? It's just a negotiation. It doesn't have to be angry. It doesn't. And I find that sometimes even the small things like that, people either don't want to speak up because they look like they're creating drama. Like I certainly know.
Don't rock the boat, right? Whatever you do, don't rock the boat.
Yeah, because I mean, I do sometimes with people who are not super close to me will say, oh my God, like I can see them going, oh my God, she's so difficult. And they make jokes about it because we get shut down from negotiating because we get made fun of. So now I just say, I'm not, oh my God, Cindy, you're so picky. So I'm like, no, I'm just health conscious. I take care of my body.
One of the keys is learning to ask, right? As women, and we spend a lot of time as well like doing exercises about ask for what we want, and we don't. Like the stats are staggering. Like even on something as simple as getting a first contract offer, when you get a new job, 62% of men will ask for more versus only 7% of women. Like that's a staggering discrepancy. So we've got to learn to ask, right? And I also, it's not even just to clarify, like it's not just, about the negotiation piece. That's a big part of it. But I also, we're really going to be digging in as well to helping women just rediscover that passion and purpose in life, because so often we do what's expected and we lose our way, right? So if so many people are in careers and lifestyles that don't authentically represent what they really truly wanted and feel passionately about life. So we're going to be helping you rediscover your purpose and your passion, step into your power, learn to ask. I'm so excited about it. So,
you know what? I love this because it's so true. We get socialized to get married, go to college, get married, have kids, or do this or do that. And is it really our authentic expression, right? Yeah. So people will have an opportunity to work with you, book your flights right now, book your hotels, come. womenonpurpose.ca/weekend-live event. weekend-live-event. Oh, Lordy, it's up on the screen. Cindy, do you have any final words for us? I'm just so excited. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, thanks. I wish you were there. You'd love. We've got some special surprises that I can give your listening audience a little insight into as well. Like we've just confirmed today. I've been doing all the legwork on it. We've got one of the top photographers in Muskoka coming, and we're going to be doing some goddess shoots on Sunday. So we're going to have the opportunity. You goddess shoots with just a fabulous photographer and all kinds of little perks like that. So it's like I say, lots of fun, lots of content. And my hope and expectation is people are going to just come away feeling really inspired and renewed and re-energized to hit their next level. So
this is going to be remarkable. All right, everybody, check it out. womenonpurpose.ca/weekend-live-event. Cindy, thank you so much for